This is Shelley Craft coming to you live on SNNLive. We're at the LD Micro Invitational 2018 in Bel Air. I have with me today Michael Redman from Oncolix. It's a publicly traded company, and this symbol is ONCX. Michael, welcome back to SNNLive. It's been a while.
Pleasure to be here, Shelley.
It's good to have you. Let's get started with an overview of the company, if you would.
Oncolix is focused on women's cancers, and specifically we are now working on an ovarian cancer trial, but our drug has the potential to be used in all the women's cancers.
So let me have a brief history of the company, if you would.
Well, the company started out of the Greenville Hospital System in Greenville, South Carolina. They had a translational research program in which they invented our drug. And eventually they recruited me to commercialize that drug, and here we are now, where we're in human clinical trials.
Now, which drug is it specifically?
Our drug is called Prolanta, and Prolanta is a therapeutic protein that is very similar to human prolactin, except it blocks prolactin, and therefore it's called a prolactin receptor antagonist.
What's the market size?
Well, just for ovarian cancer in the United States, it'd be $1 billion drug and probably be about 2 times larger in Western Europe.
How does it work?
Our drug works by a novel mechanism of action called autophagocytosis or autophagy. What happens, and to go through high school biology for a second, but you have the distributor of the cell called the lysosome and the energy producing part of the cell called the mitochondria. They interact in a way that the cell eats itself to death, and that's why it's called autophagy.
Is it a chemotherapy drug?
No, this drug, Prolanta, is a therapeutic protein. It does not have the side effect profile that you would see with a chemotherapy type regimen. Our drug is, again, it's very, very closely related to human prolactin.
What is today's standard of care, and how do you differentiate from that or work with it?
Well, for example, in ovarian cancer, the standard of care now is chemotherapy, which has been around for the last 40 plus years. It's a taxane plus a platinum drug. These drugs are fairly effective, but they don't last very long. In metastatic patients, for example, 1/3 of the patients don't respond. Another 1/3 stop responding to all chemo within 6 months, and the last 1/3 still respond after 6 months, but most of them will drop out. So the unmet medical needs for ovarian cancer are very high.
And what do you do in women's health beyond ovarian?
Well, our drug has the potential to be used for all the women's cancers, so that includes breast cancer and cervical cancer, endometrial cancer, uterine cancer.
So tell me the uniqueness of this.
Well, we believe that we have the only autophagy drug in clinical trials in the world at this point, and we think that's pretty exciting because this mechanism of action appears to have very few side effects and yet has the potential to be a breakthrough technology in cancer.
Does this give you a competitive advantage?
We think it does, and I can tell you the reason why is that our drug, because of its novel mechanism of action, probably won't compete directly with any other drug that's currently on the market or in clinical trials. Our drug will probably be either additive or synergistic to new treatments.
What's your background?
Well, my background is working in the pharmaceutical industry for over 25 years. I have an undergraduate in science and a master's in business administration.
Now, from what you can tell me, what are some growth drivers for the company?
Well, the most important growth driver for any biotechnology company is meeting your clinical milestones. And for us, that would be completing our phase 1 dose escalation trial, hopefully by the end of this year, and commencement of the phase 2 trial in early next year.
Now, for our audience, please, let's give your website out for more information.
Thank you, Shelley. It's www.oncolixbio.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Redman from Oncolix. It's a publicly traded company, and the symbol is ONCX. I'm Shelley Craft. This is SNNLive, and we're coming to you live from the LD Micro Invitational 2018 here in Bel Air, California. It was a pleasure to have you on.
Same here, Shelley.